There was definitely two camps. There was people that, well, probably three camps. People that didn't care one way or the other. People that were really into it and really wanted it to happen. And people that were afraid. And because we don't want those kind of people coming to our town. They didn't know what those kind of people were. They just knew that it was different. So it's got to be bad because, you know, it's a small town. Armstrong, BC is one of the prettiest little towns you'll ever find. It's nestled in a valley that is spectacular. It's surrounded by farmers and agriculture, but it's got its little downtown, little historical downtown. It's a wonderful place to raise kids, wonderful place to grow up, wonderful place to be. It's a small little community, 5,000 people in Armstrong, and 5,000 people in the surrounding area around it. Vernon, the closest town to you, has 60,000. So that's like the big city.
My name is Jesse Valstar. I am the co-founder of Armstrong Metal Fest and bass player for the band Odin Fist, city councillor for the city of Armstrong. So where to begin? I spent months and months and months saving up for a trip to go to Europe. Some former high school friends of mine, we were going to go to Vaughan and we were going to go to Bloodstock. And that's where my life changed entirely. I went to that festival and there was 100,000 metalheads all in one space in the tiny town of Vaughan, Germany. It was amazing. So the thing that really brought me into the heavy metal experience for the festival that was just so profound was so many like-minded individuals within arm's reach the whole time at the festival. And when I went to Vaughan and realized that there's like 100,000 other people here who like the same stuff as me. And I literally struck up a conversation with anyone.
Yeah, well, it's very much a sense of community, I find. Not to say that other genres don't have that, but I think metal music really does unite people in a certain way. I think a lot of people often have to have certain experiences that lead them to listening to metal for different reasons, and having that united experience, as I said, it really brings people together, and it's such a communal feeling. And again, it really feels like you can talk to just absolutely anyone here, like they're a friend you've known for years.
Absolutely. I think that music, whatever genre it is a form of self-expression, and that's the beauty of it. This is a place where people can self-express. Something that we talk about is sacred rage. Where do you rage out? Where is a safe place to express your frustrations, your anger with the world in a safe place where other people can do it with you? You know, you don't have to be at home listening to angry music by yourself. You can actually share that with somebody and be like, yeah, this helped me through a really difficult time. I screamed through this song and I felt better.
Music helps me get me through things like say, example, like I'm angry. I want to listen to someone absolutely screaming their heart out, so I don't have to.
If you look at metal like through like a theoretical view for music, it's one of the most complex ways. It's like jazz, but fast. And it's heavy.
And distorting.
And it's really complex, and I think that when you look at metal and see like how technically complex it is to play and to enjoy, it shows a lot for like the mindset of everyone who actually does listen to it and enjoy it. It's a lot more than just screaming and headbanging and smashing guitars.
There's such a gamut of lyrical choices, like whatever you could imagine, from drunken pirate metal to tech death, which is some very intricate playing styles and drumming.
Of course, you know, the music's aggressive, it's loud, it's fast, and they love to mosh around in the mosh pit and smash into each other.
I was super scared to go into the mosh pit. I'm 5'0". What happens if I get trampled on and elbowed? It looks really intense from the outside. But I went into the mosh pit and people pick you up. They'll make space. I lost my glasses once. I actually had this very lovely gentleman make a huge circle and help me find my glasses in the middle of a mosh pit. And I was so grateful. And once I got my glasses back on, he gave me like a, "You're good?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm good." And we just went right back to dancing and partying and thrashing. It was so lovely to know that somebody, a total stranger, was willing to help.
A couple years ago I was here. There was a guy in a wheelchair. They were crowd surfing the guy in the wheelchair. You got to be solid under that. You can't be sort of half-hearted helping somebody like that. You got to be committed to making sure they're having a good time.
The metal community's just got a different mentality about stuff like this, right? Like, everyone just wants to make sure everyone else is having fun and everyone's safe. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Like, if you're here and you like metal, everyone looks out for you.
Yeah, no, I think the overall vibe for any metal fest is always positive. It's not what the mainstream people think it is. It's always really positive.
So I've seen these various activities around the Armstrong Metal Fest, be it playing cards, people just like playing Magic the Gathering, playing D&D or something like that. And that's all really cool stuff, you know what I mean? Because like maybe there's a band up that you're not too into, or you want to hang out with your friends, and that's part of the experience, right? So, and it can't all just be like, not everybody goes there to get drunk or anything like that, right? So, some people just go there to hang out and have a good time. So I think those activities are necessary.
I mean, everyone here is just a giant teddy bear. As you get to know us, like, we look scary, but we're all nice. I think Magic just like brings out the geeky fantasy nerdism of like everyone. And it makes for a good like sit-down community event rather than just like, throwing each other around in the mosh pit.
But a metalhead is actually I find it's the sweetest group of people. They're always looking to lift up their other friends, talk to, meet new people, talk to new friends. And I find that it is someone that's, really energetic and just wants to express something that they're passionate about and make it a unique part of their personality.
Fast forward into the spring of 2009, I was chatting with Bretton Melanson, co-founder of Armstrong Metal Festival, and he had gone to a party in the woods called Metalocalypse. It was a heavy metal festival that was basically, I don't know what they set up a stage, some generators, and just had bands playing in the middle of the woods. He was like, "I think we could do something like this." And I'm like, "Where?" He's like, "My parents' farm." I was like, "You figure out the venue, I'll figure out everything else. Like, let's do this."
The idea to do this ourselves came kind of from looking at those European music festivals, kind of being a little disheartened that my own band and my friends' bands, we didn't think we'd ever get that far. But then seeing another little festival pop up nearby gave us the idea that we could make our own festival and, our bands can play that one. Yeah, getting it started was asking Dad, "Can I do this? Can I use your trailer? Do you have another friend whose trailer we can borrow so we can make the stage bigger?" And so the first one, we did have it out in the open air. We had trailers that acted as the stages, so it was really out open to the elements.
So we set up that first year, 11 bands played, and we had, I would say maybe 100, 150 people come out, and it was a blast. Everybody was camping, everybody was respectful. The night was a lot of fun, and it gave me the same feeling that I got from when I was at Vakken. And after the first year, everybody was hitting us up, being like, "Hey, you guys doing a second year?" And like us being kids, like we were children, okay? We were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it again. What do you think?" Like that first year, I think I was 19 or 20 or something like that.
So by the second year in 2010, it was basically the three of us were
putting it together with others, right? There was probably another 20 or 30 people that helped, but basically it became a core three instead of the two of them basically orchestrating everything.
And so the second year we did it. 16 bands, double the people showed up. It was immense.
It's funny because I've seen early photos of other festivals, Wacken and Grass Pop, because I know the promoter for Grass Pop in Belgium, and they all look like Armstrong Metal Fest,
Right.
in the early days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like a hand-built stage in the middle of a field with like a few hundred people hanging out, right? Like it's funny because then those are some of the biggest festivals in Europe now, metal festivals.
We survived the second year. And that's when Breton's parents said, you can't do it at the farm anymore. You're not, you can't do it. It's grown to a spot where you guys have to take it somewhere else. And we searched for a place, but we ended up getting a meeting and setting up to have the festival at the fairgrounds in the heart of Armstrong, which was a significant cost increase because when we were putting on the show for the first 2 years, it was a private party done by donation. You know, the sound was donated, all the band's time was donated, everything was a donation, right? And all that money was going towards paying for like the event insurance and like that kind of stuff, right? We didn't have someone come in and be like, hey, we're gonna give you 30 grand, you know, you can pay it back afterwards, but we're gonna give you 30 grand and you can make this event happen. That first year, I was financially responsible for it. I was signing my name to everything, and if it failed, I was just a grocery clerk at Askew's who was making the same amount of money per year that this one weekend event cost. I was trusting my community to produce, to come out. We did do fundraisers, but like it was funded by us. It was the group. We kept doing it. We kept funding it.
And then it comes down to it, and guess what? We don't have enough money to pay for everything still. So it's fine because the whole time Jesse and I would just pay for stuff. You know, it's $500, whatever, I'll put that on my credit card and I'll pay that off when I get home.
The one thing that it strikes me about metal is while it's obviously a business, it doesn't come across as a money-making proposition. You know, it isn't, they're not down there to get every dime out of you.
Armstrong Metal Fest has never been hugely financially successful, and we've certainly had years that it was financially a big loss to us. So between those of us on the organizing committee, we've had to put a lot of our own money into it. I basically considered the money a write-off. Never expected a cent back. It was money well spent. And I'm sure Jesse's in a similar situation, and so is Breton.
We're all volunteers. I've been volunteering my time for 15 years towards this festival.
But we're not in it to make money, you know. We made this happen because it was the kind of thing we wanted to go to.
This is Camp Awesomer. Me and my wife created it. Just try to be good people and, you know, pay it forward. Because we don't drink, we would take the money that, you know, maybe every payday we'll buy a couple of bottles of something, right? And then we're able to run the margarita machine and hand out some margaritas to people or daiquiris. And we do Wheel of Booze, which is booze roulette, and there's no good choices. If you want free booze, there's a definite price to pay for it. You know, it's us giving back to the community, right? Like, dude sleeping in a tent over there with, you know, hot dogs and a P4 for the weekend. If I can provide somebody a little bit of comfort and some shade and some fun for, you know, a couple hours, because I want to be, you know, nice and give back to my brothers and sisters in the metal family.
You can show up here with nothing and have a great weekend. People will, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, dude, I got some of this food. You want a burger? I was standing here having a beer last night, and somebody walked up with a big tray of burgers. Are you guys hungry? Here, have a cheeseburger. It's the best cheeseburger I've had in like a year. It was amazing. Unbelievable cheeseburger. They're just walking around with a big tray, handing them out.
Everyone's just open and accepting.
Yeah, like as soon as we got in, everyone was chomping at the bit to like help us load in, and obviously we have like a a hulking tent. And even after that, like everyone's just super chill, like, you know, trading beers for different supplies and
Grills.
Yeah, grills. Yeah, it's been super cool.
You can leave your tent. You can leave everything in your tent and it's fine. You know it's going to be fine. And like everyone's here to help and share. If you forget something, they'll give it to you.
These are the nicest bunch of people you ever could meet. Like everyone's so kind. People, I saw lots of guys bring their kids, you know, yesterday, and little ones with like the noise canceling headphones, getting them to start from a young age to appreciate the music and the community.
Well, I think it's also a shift in parenting today. Parents are more and more wanting to share the things that they love with their children. They're like, this is what mom and dad love to do. This is what we grew up on. Come see, come have a little window of what it's all about. And that really warms my heart that it's actually a child-friendly festival, which means that there are people watching out for the children at all times.
Armstrong has found a machine that's each have about 5,500 people, so we're a community of about 11,000 people, and it's just a really nice place to live. It's a real family town because there's a lot of 3-4 generation families that have lived here, and they're sort of a conservative type of area, and they sometimes don't like change too much.
Well, I grew up in Armstrong, and I think we've always been aware of the fact that stores close at 5 o'clock and there's not too much happening. You had family life or you had organized sports, and I don't think that that's changed at all. I know mostly for people who come from a bigger town still think it's that sleepy little town, but it is growing. There are more people around, there's more traffic, there's always people out walking. Somebody walking their dog is always around, and kids riding their bikes in the streets without worrying too much about it.
Well, I think everybody wants to think their town is the best town everywhere, and I really believe that because it is a friendly town. When you're out walking on the sidewalks or walking your dog or just going downtown, people look at you in the eyes and say hi, even if they don't know who the heck you are. You know, they'll say hi.
We were just starting to hear some rumors that there was people opposing Armstrong Metal Fest coming into the town. We were hearing that there was some church groups getting together to try and prevent us from coming in. The church and heavy metal obviously haven't had the best relationship over the years.
The Metal Fest group came to City Council and came to Parks and Rec to rent a facility in our community. And I can honestly say it was not well received. People were extremely nervous about Metal Fest with the surrounding
Yeah, I think at that time that if you saw somebody with purple spiked hair and had studs in their clothes, and oh my gosh, what are they doing in Armstrong? It was a little bit out of our element, being a small town and higher percentage of retired people. So it was probably a concern. It was suggested that there would be extra police costs involved with a headbanger concert, and Armstrong's reputation would take a deep dive right into the mosh pit.
The pulse of the community, they were hesitant for sure. I think because of the noise concerns, because it's not a subtle music, concern about garbage in the grounds after, the disrespect of that crowd, the image portrayed by the metalheads, and the skulls, the pentagrams, the devils, and all that. So there was definite hesitation. And did Armstrong want to be known for goth death metal?
I remember Jesse struggling with trying to get community support behind it.
It was shortly after they had made application that there was some concern brought forward by the local ministerial association in Armstrong. Of course, they were allowed to bring forward their delegation. We had a really great working relationship with the ministerial association. They were doing lots of great things in the community, social programs, food banks and food kitchens and other social programs that were really helping the community.
It seems that this particular event is out of character for the city of Armstrong, and the fact that it is being forced upon us, the residents, to just tolerate with the attitude of, let's just wait and see, is very unsettling. This event is set to offer a venue for violent images and ideas which threaten people and property.
The perception of the metal community, I can definitely see from coming from a Christian perspective, it's almost the opposite of what we, Christians look for light and God and everything, and they're like all devil and dark and 666. I could see the concern, but it's maybe not the best imagery you want, but it doesn't necessarily portray who they are.
I think the main thing is you probably have to be religious to actually believe in this, the Satan and worship him, which I don't think many people are here.
The way I look at it is you watch a movie about a serial killer, that doesn't make you a serial killer. If you write a song about a serial killer, that doesn't make you a serial killer.
Well, if you sit in a city council chair, you find people are against a lot of things that are happening in the community. It doesn't matter whether it's an event, a rezoning, a bylaw change. Nobody ever comes to city council to tell you you're doing a great job. But you had to listen to them, and you had to listen to what their concerns were and then deal with the concerns.
They had like a city meeting all planned out, and none of us knew about it.
So I went down to the Advertiser. It was a local place in town that I can get something printed, and I was getting my stuff, waiting for my stuff to be printed, and a reporter who was in the Advertiser recognized me, and she's like, "Hey, Jesse, are you going to the commission meeting later today about Metal Fest?" And I was like, I don't know anything about it. I was like, I had no idea that there was even a thing. I was like, yeah, I'll be there for sure. I didn't know what a commission meeting was. I didn't know any of this. I didn't realize that council members from both the township and the city were going to be there. I showed up. I was wearing Crocs, board shorts, and a Slayer t-shirt. And I went into the room. They say, okay, we're going to bring this commission meeting to order. We're going to add for additional business Jesse Valstar as a delegation, and yeah, okay, approved. Okay, and then they're like, okay, Jesse Valstar, you have the floor. What does that mean? Straight up, all these people, no one in this room was pro Metal Fest, let's do this downtown, right? And so I'm like, well, what does that mean to even have the floor? And they're like, well, this is the time where you can talk about the festival, and you can essentially convince us to have it, right? And at that point, I never even realized that it was on the table not to have the event. I had no idea. I was like, huh. So I went up there and I had a binder, I unrolled it. There was nothing in the binder. The binder was empty, okay? But I still opened it up like I had something to say, right? And, and I'm like, so I'm standing there and I go, okay, so, hi, my name's Jesse. I want to put on this festival. I'm having bands from here. This is how I'm going to ensure community safety through this security company. I had a conversation with Dave Evans. We went over a security plan and he's happy with that. And then the commission confirmed. They're like, we did talk to the police department. They did confirm that they're happy with this plan. And I was like, and I talked to Alistair and he walked me through everything that I need to do for here and I'm all good there. And they were like, yeah, we confirmed that as well. That's a thing going for that. And I was like, and I do have insurance for the event and this is that. And I basically went over the entire event plan right then and there. And then I went and sat down. Now, just to elaborate a little bit further, at that time we had 4 YouTube videos out, okay, for advertising. Now these 4 YouTube videos, they were filled with inside jokes that a bunch of teenagers would have. We basically made these videos and we thought they were the funniest things on the planet. But we didn't really consider that just anybody can watch YouTube and that these videos were associated directly with the festival and the advertising of it, right? We made jokes that out of context were not appropriate. And we thought that they were just silly videos that were lighthearted, right? No one was getting hurt. We weren't hurting anybody with these videos. But the language that we used could have been taken out of context and they were not all great. So these videos were fueling a bit of the anger towards the festival. When I got down from the podium, I sat down. They had a bit of a discussion around the table. Then I think the next person who came up to speak was a representative of the concerned citizens of Armstrong. And they went up and they started saying that they were concerned about vandalism, that they were concerned about property theft, that they were concerned about the individuals that were going to be coming into town. They kind of painted a bit of a picture of like a low-hanging fog, trash cans on fire. What I just said was a total exaggeration, but that was like essentially the picture that they were painting, right? Like heavy metal out of an 80s movie, right? And I don't blame them. That's how it was painted for years. So, you know, and I kind of had to say, I'm like, well, that's not true, you know, like that's like I had to made the corrections as it happened, and I am defending something that I have put more deposits down on that I couldn't afford for this thing not to happen. Like 1/3 of my income is gone if they cancel. I am not okay with that. And I basically had to say at a certain point, being like guys, I work at the local grocery store. If this thing goes terribly wrong, I'm still gonna work at the grocery store afterwards. I still have to see all of my community members. I still have to look everyone in the eye. I am not going to do something that's going to damage the town because I care about this place and I want to live here. And so I like listened to all of it and I was just like, oh man, like this is not looking good. And Sully O'Sullivan, city councilor of Armstrong, he started saying some words. Sully said, he's like, I just want to get this straight. If we're saying no to this festival, we're not saying no to heavy metal. We're saying no to music festivals. He's like, just because they sing about what they sing about does not give us the right to say no to that. What we're voting on right now is whether or not we should have music festivals on those grounds. And I sat there and I was like, and he's like violence, this, that, and the other thing. He's like, we have lacrosse and hockey, you know, and there is violence in those games. He's like, if we start nitpicking that kind of stuff, he's like, everything else is going to get nitpicked. He's like, right here, it's about music festivals, right? And everybody seemed to agree on that, right? And he's like, in my opinion, he's like, I would like to see music festivals happen on these grounds. And he put his hand up and he's like, I'm in favor of having the festival. And then after that, the rest of the commission members after that put up their hands and voted in favor. Huge relief. I was just like, I was shaking. And as soon as the verdict came up, oh, people were angry. Oh, it was not a favorable thing. People got up and they stormed the door. No one was happy with the resolution there. And then, you know, this is where, like, yes, I had a bit of victory there, but I get up, I go out the door. There was a guy waiting for me right outside the door. And he proceeded to tell me that he is going to find an issue with my security He's like, everybody has to be certified, everybody has to be this. And if you have one uncertified security guard on staff, that's gonna void your insurance. And if your insurance is void, then you gotta shut down the event. He's like, I'm gonna find it. And I was like, I assure you, the security company that I have is fully certified, and they will not have anyone like that on staff, right? Afterwards, I'm texting the security company being like, I'm gonna be extra spot on you guys now. Like, I don't want that problem down. If there's someone looking for it, we don't need that problem, right? After that guy, I run into the first group of concerned citizens because they were all waiting for me. And then after that, was the representatives of the church. I didn't even get to the media. The media was the third semicircle after that, right? I didn't even get to talk to them. They were like, this is never gonna end. So they left, and then I stood there and I answered every single question until everybody was satisfied that I've finished answering questions. And it was not like, and I wouldn't even say that it was answering questions more or less, but there was, some people expressed disappointment with me. And they said that they thought that I was better than this. And people were upset with me, and that I would even consider something like this. And I just kept pleading my case, being like, I would never do something that would put the town in harm. Like I believe in these people. Like, you guys don't know them the same way I do, right? But it didn't matter. Like, some of them were satisfied with my answers. Some of them weren't satisfied with my answers. But I stood there and I answered till the answering was done.
We were a little bit concerned, but we knew that as soon as we had a chance to let our event run, we could show the town that this could be a positive thing for the town.
I think for me, the very first Metal Fest, I think what was surprising to me was how big that it was. I really sort of thought, oh, here's Jesse putting together this cute little metal fest. There's going to be a couple of local bands, and they're going to go down and play some music, and for, a small group of people that are going to enjoy that type of music. And then when it happened and I was driving past the fairgrounds, I was like, holy, there's a lot of people there. And when I found out there was like 22 bands or something like that, and they had thrash wrestling down there, and they had all these events, and there was all these tents and all these people in town, I was really surprised.
I've had the opportunity to go down a couple times to attend Metal Fest, and I was blown away last year simply by the professionalism. The sound system, the lighting system was fantastic. The stage was fantastic. But what I think impressed me the most about my experience at Metal Fest last year was just that sense of community and acceptance, and how all of the participants there genuinely seemed to care for each other. It's neat to see the convergence of all the people come from all over Western Canada or the US or Alberta, and they show up and they seem to just have a great time hanging out together.
Yeah, Metal Fest is sick. I've never been to Armstrong before. I'll definitely be back here, like maybe to vacation or something. Yeah, it was tight. I met a lot of cool people, and I'm just stoked for the opportunity to come and hang out here with y'all.
Yeah, the reach to Armstrong Metal Fest, I think, is basically the talent that they bring in. The international talent. And I think the more that you do that, the more the word gets out there amongst the fans of those bands from, the internet and seeing the show happening. And and then it's with the agents and record companies and all the people down the line start, seeing that there's this show, this festival in, Armstrong, BC, Canada, right? And so it does, I think they're on the right track to even expanding on that.
They put a lot into getting good headliners over the years, and that definitely lends itself to legitimacy for the festival. And they do a good job at pulling in just like local BC acts as well. You know what I mean?
All of this completely lost, and now my face is cold.
the impact of the Metal Fest to town, it does hit the businesses as well.
These people come to town, they shop at our stores, they go to the restaurants, they just immerse themselves in our community.
We didn't even realize that we were becoming a major financial driver in the town. We had no idea that that was even a thing. We knew that we were bringing a ton of people into town, but that was not our motivation to do the event. But we didn't realize that we were slowly becoming a weekend date for a lot of the businesses in the downtown core who provide services to the clients for the festival. We kept them busy for that entire weekend. We were giving back to the community without even knowing.
It's crazy to me how I can drive by there on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and there's hundreds of people down there. And on Sunday afternoon, when I drive past the fairgrounds, it's like there was nothing even there. There is not a speck of litter, there is nothing out of place. In fact, it looks usually cleaner than it was before it started. So yeah, so I'm always very impressed how the people who organize it make sure that the event leaves the area nice and clean.
You want to be able to come back, like you gotta, you gotta take responsibility for yourself, and you pack it in, you pack it out, kind of thing, right? I was a Cub Scout growing up and in the Boy Scouts, so that's kind of been ingrained in me. If you're out camping, if it comes home with you, if you can't dispose of it properly.
It's quite interesting to me. We actually don't hear anything, which is interesting for where I live, because during other events, even when there's a horse show or the IP, like I can hear that in my house. I can step out my back deck and I can hear all the music and I can hear the people. But Metal Fest, we don't hear anything. I don't have anything keeping me awake at night or people wandering around outside my neighborhood, like some of the other events in town. So yeah, I definitely don't hear anything.
I'm so thankful because honestly, I think a lot of the times people will think of like the last place you'd expect a metal festival to be is in a small town in interior BC, and yet they are the most welcoming people I've actually ever met. All the business owners, not just this year but last year as well, some of them even remembered me from last year, are the most welcoming people. And to be able to throw us an event almost like a party in a place like this with amazing facilities, it's just an absolute honor, and I'd really like to thank the people at Armstrong. And getting to put this on every year is awesome, and I'll continue to be back and support these local businesses every chance I can, because this is an awesome place to be.
Oh, I don't even bother with other music festivals much anymore. This one just, nothing compares anymore. Everything just seems subpar after you come here. Like, it's way too much fun. Way too much fun.
I think just the most important thing about Armstrong Metal Fest is that it was an event that people kind of were concerned about, and it's turned into a really great event that is super professionally run. And I think it catches people off guard when they see all the different types of people that attend it, people that they think, that wear a business suit to work every day and then spend the weekend down at Metal Fest. I think that catches people off guard, and I think it's really cool that we can provide an event that will cover a large basis of people. The Armstrong Metal Fest adds interest to Armstrong. I think it provides an opportunity for people who don't step outside what their norm is to experience maybe being around something that is somebody else's norm. So I think that the Armstrong Metal Fest is good for bringing in interest and differences that maybe we wouldn't see if we didn't have that festival here. And for people to understand that everybody's the same. We all just want to have fun and have a good time, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing, what you look like, how much leather you have on, how much skin you're showing. That Armstrong is a really great place to hang out and enjoy good music.
We just did it in Armstrong. We just did it in Armstrong until they liked us. There is no natural fit. It's a totally unnatural fit. I don't think there was any. There's no way it should have worked, but it did.
My favorite thing about Metal Fest, well, I think the music is great, right? And having attended last year, I was just blown away with how talented the musicians are.
My favorite part of Metal Fest, Jesse had made cloth admission bands. So instead of having paper things just tossed on the ground after, these were mementos, and then it cut down on the litter, and I had mine until very recently.
Seeing people that I maybe only see once a year. Someone commented many years ago that this isn't a festival, it's a family reunion.
Just the camaraderie of getting to see, I've made lifelong friends from coming to this concert.
I just love the fact that Armstrong opened the doors and allowed the Metal Fest to come to Armstrong. We hope that they'll continue to come for a long, long time and bring their kids next.
I love the vibe of the party. There was so much fun going on. It was the middle of July, it's summer, it's just exactly how it's supposed to be.
Just the diversity of people.
One of the things I love here is like the costumes and the outfits that people come up with. You see people walking around in some wildly cool stuff.
My favorite thing about Armstrong Metal Fest has been having the opportunity to meet some of my heroes in bands that I love, booking them through their agent, and then getting to go and pick them up at the airport, get to know them.
My favorite individual thing, it's hard not to say the music, simply because I think the music is very different. It's not one genre of metal, which I find that's what you get from concerts. If you go to a concert, it's going to be a headliner and then some openers which are of a similar genre because they want to attract that kind of listener, of course. But here, it's so many different local bands that if you're supporting local, so many different genres, and I find you get to expose yourself to some things that you might not have heard before.